Hi, viewers. I welcome you all for this session where we will be covering the topic that is pharmaceutical validation. This topic is in continuation with the calibration topic which we discussed in the last session. So myself, Dr. Giri Shampanavar, Assistant Professor from KLE College of Pharmacy, would like to engage you guys for this particular session. So in this pharmaceutical validation, we will be discussing the introduction of this pharmaceutical validation, the principle and the definition of validation, and what is the need for the validation in pharmaceutical industries, the purpose, scope, advantages, and the validation types. So coming to the introduction, this pharmaceutical validation is actually the concept that was brought about by proposed by two officials from Food Drug Administration by name Ted Beers and Bud Loftus in 1970s in order to improve the quality of pharmaceutical compounds or the products which are being manufactured at the premises. The main goal of validation is to ensure that the quality is built into the system at every step and not just tested for at the end. As such, the validation activities will commonly include the training on production material and operating procedures. It is also involved in training people that are or who are involved in monitoring of the system which are engaged in the production. So as we know that this validation is an essential part of good manufacturing practices. These are the regulatory requirements for all the pharmaceutical industries in order to market their compounds for the regulated market. And it is therefore the validation is an element of quality assurance program that is associated with a particular product or for the particular process. So the basic principle of quality assurance have as their goal, I can say, the production of the products that are fit for the intended use or for the required purpose. So coming to the principles of the validation, is governed by the set of principles, and we will take up those principles one by one. Quality, safety, and efficacy must be designed and built into the product so that the product in the every stage of its manufacturing process we can assure the quality, safety, and efficacy, and that is achieved by the design component itself so that the quality is built into the product. Quality cannot be inspected or tested into the product, and the critical step of manufacturing process or each critical step of the manufacturing process must be validated. Other steps in the process must be under the control, as I say, to maximize the probability that the finished product consistently and predictably meets all the quality and the designed specifications. Coming to the definition of this validation, I'll just read out this definition. Establishing documented evidence that provides a high degree of assurance that a specific process will consistently produce a product meeting its predetermined specifications and quality attributes. So in order to decipher the meaning of this particular definition, validation is a documented evidence which gives high assurance that any product that is being manufactured at the premises constantly meets the predetermined specifications and all the quality attributes so that one can rely on the products manufactured in that particular premises. It can also be defined as validation is the documented act of proving that any procedure, equipment, material, activity, or system actually leads to the expected results. We can take either of these definitions. So after this, we will see the need for pharmaceutical validation. What all are the needs or the requirements for validating any validation in pharmaceutical industries. Before introduction of any new method into a routine use, if you are introducing any new method into the routine use, before we do that, we actually go for a pharmaceutical validation. Whenever the conditions change for which a method has to be validated, okay, or I can say it as change in conditions. If there is any such change in conditions, then again it needs pharmaceutical validation. The next and the last is whenever the method is changed and the change is outside the original scope of the method. So if you are changing something in the method that has been already defined and the change is outside the scope of the method, then in that particular case we go for pharmaceutical validation. So coming for the purpose of this pharmaceutical validation, to accept an individual sample as a member of population under study, that is a representation sample. If you're taking a representative sample from the whole big batch, in order to accept that individual sample as a representative sample, we need a pharmaceutical validation. To admit samples to the measurement processes, minimize authenticity issues, or to minimize the questions or the later questions which might arise on the sample authenticity, to provide an opportunity for resampling. Okay, so whenever a resampling is needed, in order to provide an opportunity for that resampling process, we need pharmaceutical validations. Coming to the advantage of this pharmaceutical validation, what are the advantages this validation has to offer us? Assures the repeatability of the process, or assurance in the process repeatability. Okay, so it means it assures us that any process that is carried out in the pharmaceutical industry is repeatable and reproducible. And it assures that the product is continuously according to the requirement of marketing authorization. So marketing authorization is a body that approves your product for marketing. Once your product has been approved for marketing, the consecutive batch should also keep the promise. If they don't keep the promise, then that product may not perform as desired. So we assure that the product is continuously according to the requirement of marketing authorization. Decreases the risk of manufacturing problems that are involved. Okay, any risk that is involved in the manufacturing process, that can be decreased if you do validation. Decrease the expenses, very important for any pharmaceutical industry. And why we need this decrease in expenses? Sometimes there are some failures in production, and this decrease the expenses that are caused by failures in the production processes. And the last advantage is reduce the risk of failing in GMP. So any product that is to be successful, it should be passing the GMP certification, or it should be complying the GMP. So in order to reduce the risk of failing in GMP, validation is a must. Coming to what to validate, when to validate, and how to validate, or why the validation is performed. Validation should be performed for all of this. Rather, the validation is done in a very structured way according to the documentation, including the procedures, protocols, etc. And the validation should be performed on all of this. For any new premises, equipment, utilities and systems, and processes and procedures that are involved, at periodic intervals we can do. Okay, on what you are doing validation? We are doing validation on all this, on new premises, new equipments, utilities, or any systems, or any new process or procedure. We are doing validation for that. When you are doing the validation at periodic intervals or during some major changes, any major changes in the method, equipment, or facility, or anything, how do we do? As per the written protocols. Validation is always in accordance with some written protocols. We call it as a validation master plan. And usually the documentation of validation activity cannot be completed without proper documentation of every minute activity with utmost details. Okay, and usually the documentation of validation are of different types, or the documentation are of different types to name as I said, validation master plan. It is a plan according to which the whole validation process is carried, and the validation is executed, and before this execution they draft something called as validation protocol, and validation protocol will explain each and every step, how the validation is done, what for it is done, and what are the different precautions we are supposed to take, so on and so forth. All are being explained in the validation protocol, and this protocol is actually granted or approved by a concerned authorities in the premises. And once this validation protocol is approved, the validation is carried out following that particular protocol, and they develop a validation report. And once this validation report is generated, they will carefully go through the document and prepare the report, and the report is signed by the responsible people, one who has performed the validation and the one who has gone through that validation report. And after this, we have something called as standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures are nothing but these are the written set of guidelines following which you can operate any method, or you can operate any instrument, or you can follow anything that is followed in the particular process, so or in the industries. So these are the set of documentation validation has to offer. So we have validation master plan, as I just now mentioned, we have validation protocol, we have validation report, and we have something called as standard operating procedures. That was about the validation and how it is performed on, and when, how, and what, on what it is performed. Coming to the validation types, very important, we have 4 different validation types. The first one is the process validation. I will come to each of these in very detail. We have process validation, we have cleaning validation, we have equipment validation, and validation of analytical methods. So all these 4 components are involved in any pharmaceutical companies which is manufacturing a pharmaceutical product. So first, going for the process validation. So process validation is the means of ensuring and providing documentary evidence that processes are capable of repeatability and reliably producing a finished product of the required quality. So the process validation, it is nothing but a set of validated documentation which ensures that the process or the process that is performed or followed in industry is capable of being repeated, and it can be relied upon, and it is capable of producing a finished products of the desired quality. So this process validation is further classified into 4 different types, for which we will go through one by one. We have prospective validation, we have concurrent validation, we have retrospective validation, and we have something called as revalidation. So I will go through this prospective validation, concurrent validation, and retrospective validation and process validation one by one. So coming to prospective validation. Prospective validation is a validation process that is conducted prior to the distribution of either a new product or a product made under a revised manufacturing process, where the revisions may affect the production or the product characteristics. So based on the past experience, the possible critical situations are identified here, and the risk involved are evaluated, and any potential causes are investigated and assessed for their probabilities and extent. The trial plans are drawn up and the priorities are set up. So in short, the prospective validation is a validation just prior to the distribution of either a new product or any new product of the industry. So it is done before we start. The concurrent validation, it is a sort of validation that is carried out during the normal production process. The method, this method is effective only if the development stage has resulted in a proper understanding of the fundamentals of the processes, only then the concurrent validation is done. The first three production scale batches, the first three production scale batches which are usually done in the industry, those first three production batches, they are called as prospective batches. Those first three production scale batches must be monitored as comprehensively or as in detail as possible, so that the nature, so that their behavior, the entire production behavior will be understood, and the nature and the specification of the subsequent in process and final tests are based on the evaluation of the results of such monitoring. Concurrent validation together with a trend analysis, including stability, should be carried out to an appropriate extent throughout the life of the product. Okay, so that is what we mean by the concurrent validation. Coming to retrospective validation, what we mean by this retrospective validation process is that it is a validation of the process for a product already in the distribution, which is already in the distribution based upon the accumulated production testing control data. So the product which is already into the distribution, I mean to say in the market, or which has been in the through testing process already, and that is, if you want to validate that product, then we call that as a retrospective validation. And the last one is the process validation. The process revalidation. The process revalidation is the repetition of the validation process. It is basically the repetition of the validation, and when it is required in some cases, like whenever there is a change in the formula, change in the equipment, or any change in the procedure or quality of the raw materials, or any even in the physical changes, like if the powder was previously amorphous, now it is crystalline, then also you will go for revalidation. For example, the raw material, if it was previously amorphous, then later on the supply was stopped for amorphous, then we started getting the crystalline powder for that particular raw material, then the revalidation is a must. So that is a case when we do revalidation. We also do revalidation in some major changes, or when a major change is happening and that is critical process, or that is a critical in the process. So that in that case also we do this revalidation. We also do this revalidation whenever there is a change in the facility and installation, which can influence or which may influence the process. And we also perform this revalidation if there is any difference in the results. So these are the types of the process validations what we perform in the industry. So after this, coming to the next, cleaning validation, I'll just read out this definition: a process of attaining and document insufficient evidence to give reasonable assurance given the current state of science and technology that the cleaning process under consideration does and or will do what it purposes to do. So the purpose of cleaning validation is very crucial, and it is a process or a documented process where it gives a reasonable assurance that the current state of technology, whatever you are using at the manufacturing premises, is clean and can be used further for processing. And so the cleaning validation is very crucial, and it is defined so. And with respect to this cleaning validation, there are some objectives that this cleaning validation actually meets, or it is aimed at. The first objective would be like to minimize any cross contamination that is happening when you are shifting from one product to the other. And when we are like cleaning, in order to determine the cleaning efficiency or the cleaning efficiency of the process that is taken for cleaning, if you want to see that the cleaning validation is done. And the other objective would be to do troubleshooting in case of any problem, in case if it is identified in the cleaning process and gives suggestion, and that will actually give suggestion to improve the process so that the further cleaning assurance can be done. So there are some possible contaminations or source of contaminations in pharmaceutical industries. The first could be the cross contamination when you're shifting from one product to the other, and the second case would be the product contamination by a foreign material, which is not supposed to happen. And the third and the very crucial is the microbial contamination. In order to avoid all these sources of contamination, the cleaning validation is also very crucial. So we have some methods for cleaning validation. Firstly, it is the manual cleaning method, or rather we can go for semi-automated procedures or fully automated procedures. Once we are done with these cleaning methods, we again go and cross-check for the efficiency of this cleaning. After this, we will go for the next, that is the equipment validation. And this equipment validation follows this 4Q model approach, wherein which it is 4 Qs here, as you can see: the design qualification, installation qualification, operational qualification, and performance qualification. Since we have 4 Qs here, it is called as 4Q approach. And as per FDA, action of proving that any equipment works correctly and leads to the expected result is equipment qualification. So we have the difference between the qualification and the validation that we are taking up just later. According to this equipment validation, any equipment that is being used should be validated, and this equipment validation is again a documented process where it documents whether the equipment is correct and is giving the expected results and is performing as per expectations. So equipment validation is done in all these 4 stages. The first is design qualification. Coming to the design qualification, it is a documented collection of activities that defines the functional and operational specification of the instrument and criteria for selection of the vendor based on intended purpose of the instrument. So the design qualification is something where a person who is purchasing the equipment, he has some idea about how the instrument should be. So he has the design with him, and that design is actually given to a manufacturer or the fabricator who actually follows that specification, and he designs and manufactures that particular equipment. Once the equipment is being manufactured, we can say that design qualification is achieved, and it is a set of document that arises out, and we call it as the design qualification. Design and development of equipment, system or product before purchase, or even before we purchase and start manufacturing, we have this design qualification. The next is the installation qualification. Once the design and the manufacture of the instrument is done, that is brought to the premises and it is installed. And once it is installed, they perform something called as installation qualification. Again, it is documented during the installation of new instrument or any existing instrument which is being shifted to the new premises. So installation qualification is a documented collection of activities which is necessary to establish that an instrument is delivered as the designed and the specified, and is as per the design and the specifications, and is properly installed in the selected environment, and that is the environment which is suitable for that particular instrument. After successful installation, the instrument is ready for the next step, which is an operational qualification. We call it as OQ. All these DQ, IQ and OQ, they are represented by the first words. The operational qualification is the documented collection again of activities that is necessary to demonstrate that the equipment will function according to its operational specification in the selected environment. And we shall do these operational qualifications when immediately after installation of the new or the existing instrument, and we will also do it after there are any major changes or repairs or any updates in the instruments. and we also do this during regular intervals based on the risk that is involved in the process. The next and the last is the performance qualification. Again, it is a documented evidence, a documented collection of activities necessary to demonstrate that an instrument consistently performs according to the specifications defined by the user and is appropriate for the mentioned use or the intended use. And this performance qualification demonstrates the continued suitability for the intended use. Okay, so we get a confidence that the designed instrument which is being installed and operated is performing as per the required criteria or not. And this performance qualification, it is performed periodically at specific intervals for all of the given instruments. That was about the equipment validation. Coming to the next and the last is the validation of analytical methods. The process by which it is established by laboratory studies that the performance characteristic of a method meet the requirements of the intended analytical application. So analytical validations is nothing but, it is again a set of written or the documented process where the laboratory studies the laboratory studies and their performance is documented, and they will see to it that the methods are meeting the requirements for the intended purpose. So in the analytical method validation, we have different criteria where we should address all of this. The first one is accuracy, precision, specificity, limit of quantification, range, ruggedness, robustness, linearity, limit of detection. So all these parameters, if any analytical method will show this, all these parameters, then we say that analytical method is according to the quality guidelines. So I have a document here which is being addressed by WHO. I'll just click this. Okay, it says it cannot be downloaded. Okay, rather I will circulate. I'll put up this in the email box so that you can check this document where they have defined each of this accuracy, precision, specificity, and all of these parameters in very detail. So any analytical method, if it is to be validated, we should perform all of these parameters. If they ascertain or if they comply all of these parameters, then we say that analytical method is validated. So we shall now see the difference between the instrument validation and the calibration. So any instrument, equipment validation is a documented guarantee that each component of the equipment is compliant with the manufacturer's specifications. This is obtained by varying performance in relation to traceable standards of control. This provides absolute assurance of analytical measurements and guarantees that the equipment's precision, reliability, and perfections are not compromised in any way. Nevertheless, to maintain the precision of an instrument that is being used, it must be calibrated. So, what we mean by equipment validation? It is a documented evidence that each component of the equipment is compliant with the manufacturer specification or whatever the manufacturer is quoting that this instrument has in each of its parts is we confirm and affirm that the specifications within that particular instrument. And this equipment validation, we will verify all of those components or the components of the equipment in relation to the traceable standards or controls that provides absolute assurance of the analytical measurements and guarantees that the equipment precision, reliability, and perfections are not compromised in any way. So that is what we mean by equipment validation. Equipment calibration, in order to maintain the precision of an instrument, we usually perform this calibration process. And this calibration, we have studied it previously in the previous session. It is done in order to assess the precision of the results provided by a piece of equipment, measuring its variations in relation to the standard defined. So equipment is adjusted according to the precision of its performance in line with the acceptable standards or the specification. Equipment calibration, in short, in order to conclude, equipment calibration is the adjustment of its precision by comparing it with the standard and then adjusting the precision of the instrument. We call it as the equipment calibration. But whereas in the equipment validation, we are not adjusting or in order to have this equipment validation, we first do the calibration and we check each of the components for its performance. So we are not checking the performance of each of the components in the calibration, rather that we are doing in the validation process. And that is one difference between the validation and calibration. And as I mentioned, there is a difference between the validation as well as qualification. Validation is, as I have mentioned, it is the written document where in which they ascertain the manufacturer's specification, whether they are performing the stated or whether it is meeting the stated criteria or not. Whereas the qualification is something where the instrument tends to be qualified, or it stands to be qualified by performing the said operation or by performing or by matching the specifications that have been told. If it confirms, then we say it is the qualification, or it qualifies. So there is a difference between validation and calibration, validation and qualification. So that was all about the pharmaceutical validation process, and these are the set of references. I request you to go through this last reference in order to have the analytical method validation guidelines. And thank you for being with me for this particular session. Thank you very much.